Today is the 15th of September. It's, I don't know what time it is, 9 something maybe, and 76 degrees. It's going to get up into the 90s today and most of the weekend, and then next week it's going to start going down into the 80s, and even at night it's going to get into the 50s. So we have been working on a drain there for our rain, because this area does get a little bit of water on it, not as much as when we had the tropical storm, but we want to prepare for that. I transplanted a couple of Tropicanas over into this pot because nothing made it, and then I also took a couple out of there and put them in pots for the fairgrounds. So pretty. My Calibracoa is still alive. I need to trim some palm fronds over here. It's very still out. It's pretty. I don't feel fall in the air, but I like it. So I've got my baby plants out trying to figure out where all I'm gonna plant them. My daylily is coming back. That's a daylily right there. So that's awesome. And this autumn sage made it. So that's pretty. The bubblegum supertunias are doing pretty good. I took some dead out of these gazanias, and I think some of them are starting to come back. Nope, there's nothing blooming yet. Oh, I've got spider mites though, so I've got to get in here and spray this area with some water and stuff too. The grape hyacinth are coming back in full force. I'm not mad about that. Whatever grows. I took the boxwoods that were in these pots, and they were totally subsumed by tree roots. They were just taken over. So I pulled them out, soaked them in water for quite a while because they were like concrete, they're root balls. And I think the only reason they made it was because we did get that rain, because if we'd have had our typical summer, they'd have been dead. So I got those replanted, transplanted into these beds, which I think is, I wish I'd have thought of it before, because these two, I only had 2 left. The others didn't make it. So it was kind of weird to put them back in pots where I have 4 alike on the bridge. So anyway, there's some Chinese cabbage in there, some Livingston daisies, an alyssum, and we'll just see how well it does. I had one cabbage already die, and then I had this, there was a cabbage over on the other side that was too close to where this boxwood was going to be, so I took it out. So anyway, we are getting these ready, and one of the things we've learned from having containers around the yard with trees like we have and drought conditions is that they search out our containers and then just soak up all the water. So we have changed the way we do these. We no longer drill on the bottom. We closed up all the holes, and we've put holes on the side so that they can still drain, and that they have some air getting into them, but they're not, they're no longer ones where the tree root has to come out of the ground and up in order to get into the container, and they can't. So that's how we fix those. And my husband's got 2 of the pots back there, containers that he's working on, and then these 2 are done. So we'll be able to get this with some potting soil in it and get them planted up. I did get, these are California fan palms that were over in our rocks that I decided to save and sell for the Oasis Club. And I got some plants through Amazon that were like less than half price, I think. So I got a couple of smoke bushes and a rose of Sharon, and I'm going to be planting those up on top, and that's my next project because I don't want to leave. They are starting to put on some new leaves, but they also kind of got crispy the other day, so I want to get these 3 planted fairly quickly. So that's my goal, is to start working up there, figure out where I'm gonna put them. So here's the boxwood that I took out of the container by the bridge, and now I'm gonna plant, probably like there, some cabbages, because I have a bunch of cabbages and I've got nothing else I really want to plant. I'll plant a few flowers. I've got some Colossus pansy. I might get some of those put in here. I don't know. I try to do everything by seed, although I did buy those plants. And I'm gonna go, we've got a new nursery in town, so I'm gonna go and check out what they have on Saturdays. They're only open Saturdays. So I've got some, I think that's cinnamon basil coming up, plus a marigold. And I wanted that for the fair. So I had quite a few noodle beans that I pulled off of here this morning. I got a huge zucchini off of this plant. This flower bed's looking pretty. I think after I get those 3 bushes planted, I'm gonna look at maybe taking these bushes out here so that my husband can put together our last Vego bed that's this size, and it'll go right in here, and it's gonna have a trellis associated with it, so I think that's gonna be pretty. I've got a huge mushroom there. That's kind of cool looking. And lots of Swiss chard I should be eating. The next project that I'm going to do after the one up here is I am going to take the dirt out of this bed and get these ready for my husband to, he's going to be running PVC pipes and stuff. We're going to change out the drip tubing that's in there. We're going to put that material down that keeps tree roots out. Probably might even staple it to the wood in there. And we'll get those beds ready to go, because I'm sure that this olive tree and maybe even this bush has taken over these beds with roots. They're just probably full of roots. So it's gonna get redone. So I got that project still to do. Maybe I should show this. This is kind of pretty. Oh, these are pretty, the plumbago. I love that blue color. And then this is a mess, but I like it. It's a pretty mess. It's a colorful mess. So But I'm going to get this area cleaned up too. Now that we're getting better weather. I love that vinca there. That is just like neon red almost. It's gorgeous. I think this is balsam, an old type plant that I planted seeds. And that one, I think it's candy cane balsam. So I need to get something. I think that's a zinnia there. But I need to get some more stuff in the beds. I think this is a zinnia too. And then even this canis is coming back. So that's kind of cool. Everything's looking really good in this bed. I did plant lots of marigolds, but I think they're just not coming up because the surface is too dry. So I might start hand watering this, and I think I could get a flush of flowers for this fall. So anyway, that's kind of, these plants are still alive. They're going to the fairgrounds. I've got a sunflower I didn't even know about. This is where my cowpeas are. And there is an okra in there too, but it hasn't really produced anything yet. I've got still lots of squash bugs. I've got something that's eaten my pepper plants. I've got aphids. I've got spider mites. I have lots of pests that I need to get on with. This bed we're going to turn into a bed that looks like this. We have the obelisks there, so we're going to move those, and then we're going to get another cattle panel, or not cattle panel. We have some trellises that we purchased, and we're going to put those in this bed, so it'll have some climbing stuff going on too, which will be nice. Look at the marigolds over there. They look pretty. You can tell I'm a little bit more jazzed about my garden, even though I don't like the way these leaves look. But here's the firecracker vine. I hope it flowers at some point, but maybe it only flowers the second year. I don't know that much about it. And I want some tomatoes really bad. I got a few last week that were tart, that just were like little grape tomatoes. But I really want some. Oh, it looks like there could be lots right there. Lots of flowers anyway. So please, 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 I want some tomatoes. That would just make my summer. This is the cucumbers that are producing right now. Although I have a cucumber right here that's just going nuts throughout this bed. It went over and latched onto the tomatoes there. It latched onto this cinnamon basil. I was getting carried away. I've got chocolate flowers coming in. They're pretty. I need to cut these back, I think. Oh yes, they do smell good. I've got some salpiglossus that's come back. Maybe it'll do good this fall. I tried to get some of the spider mites off of the zinnias. I still don't know what this plant is. I probably need to take it out. I have no clue what that is. Oh, maybe I'll do my plant ID app and see if it says. Anyway, the salvia over there are doing pretty good too, and so is the salicum. The alyssum looks pretty. So it's kind of a cottagey looking flower bed, and the pollinators have liked it, so I'm all about that. Should show it like that. Anyway, that's my garden diary. Today is the 11th of September, and this is what I got out of the garden. I got about 6 cubanelles, a few corbachis that were starting to turn. I've got like 4 okra, some cherry bell peppers, and 4 tomatoes, little tiny tomatoes, about 4 Hungarian black peppers. That's why I put them in the bowl. Actually, there's more than that. 5, 6. Those are all Hungarian black. Then 3 zucchini and some noodle beans. Today is the 15th of September, and this is what I got out of the garden. I got 2 really big zucchinis, about 4 okra, 3 cucumbers, just a couple of corbachi peppers, some cubanelles, probably about 6 or 7, some noodle beans, and some cowpeas that have dried. Oh, and I think this might be a jalapeno. So anyway, really pleased with the things that are coming out of the garden right now. Yay! Want some tomatoes still though.